everyone, and good morning from Amsterdam. My name is Grace. I'm a junior in the School of Foreign Service, studying culture and politics with a concentration in biopolitics, gender, and the law, and a minor in Spanish. I am here in Amsterdam with the SIT Netherlands International Perspectives on Gender and Sexuality program, and I'm so excited to be taking you along with me for a day here in the Netherlands. I am waiting for the tram to head into the program center where we do our classes for SIT. I live about a 20-minute transit ride from the program center. It's super quick and easy. I'm headed in a little early today because I am caretaker of the space for this week, so responsible for cleaning up the space, making coffee in the morning, and I also have a presentation in my first class of the day, which is Migration, Gender, and Sexuality. So I'm getting there a little early to meet with my partner to review our presentation before class. We have a little break in our migration class, so I thought I would address what courses I'm taking with SIT Netherlands. So right now I'm enrolled in 3 courses until about mid-March. I'm taking my migration class and then a Theory of Gender and Sexuality course and an Intro Dutch course. The other 2 courses are taught in English. And when those wrap up in mid-March, we have a 1-week intensive course for research methods and ethics that teaches us about conducting ethical research. And then our program takes a 2-week trip to Morocco. And when we return from Morocco, I will be completing an independent study project, or an ISP, where I will be doing research on the Netherlands, tying it into theories of gender and sexuality, and writing a 20 to 30 page thesis, which I'll present at the end of the program. The setup of the SIT program is a large part of why I chose it. I will be conducting a thesis as part of my culture and politics major, and I wanted some research experience to help me in that process and to get me acclimated to developing a research question, different methodologies, and having more independence in academic exploration. So I'm really happy with this decision, and I'm excited to embark on my ISP after our Morocco travels. We finished up with our migration class, and now I am going to get Korean food at a place nearby the program for a quick lunch. And then we have our next session at 2 p.m. We have a guest lecturer coming in. So another cool part about SIT is that we do guest lectures and site visits as part of the program on Tuesday afternoons and Wednesday mornings. It is about 4 p.m. here in Amsterdam, and I am finished with classes for the day. I am just taking a stroll and enjoying some nice views around the program center. Now I'm here in front of the Rijksmuseum, which is a Dutch art museum. I came one of the first days that I was in Amsterdam to the Rijksmuseum before closing, and just saw one exhibit. So I'm here again. It closes at 5 p.m., but I'm going to explore for 45 minutes or so and just see some great art. Some really great questions, so I'm taking a break from my readings to answer some of them. SIT is unique because it's a third-party provider. They have programs all across the world, so not just in Europe, not just in the Netherlands, but truly everywhere in a variety of languages. My program is in English, but again, I take a Dutch class. But the really unique part about SIT is that it allows for the independent study project, the ISP, where you get to do research and write a thesis, and I think that that is a defining feature that makes SIT really unique. They also integrate site visits and guest lecturers, so you get to integrate a little bit more into the local culture and know about whatever the different theme is that your SIT program focuses on. So mine, for example, is international perspectives on gender and sexuality, and we have lecturers come in who talk about that. Tomorrow we have a lecture from a drag queen, which I'm really excited about. The thing I miss most about Georgetown is definitely my friends and the social scene. I miss the clubs that I'm involved in, like the Georgetown Indie, which is the arts and culture magazine, and Slow Foods. I also miss my on-campus jobs. I'm a yoga instructor on campus, which I really enjoy, and I work at the study abroad office, and I miss everybody in the office, but I'm happy to be living out our mission of global education. So with the SIT Netherlands program, you have the option between a homestay and a long-term student residence, which I chose the long-term student residence because I've had a homestay experience and I wanted something a little bit different. So we were supposed to have just a room with a double bed and our own bathroom and a shared kitchen for the floor, but we got upgraded to studio apartments. So I actually have my kitchenette, which is right here, sink, mini fridge, microwave, 2 burners, and then I have a desk, which I do a lot of readings here. I was doing some before making this video. I'm on the 9th floor, so I have a nice view that looks out, a king bed, and my own bathroom. So lots and lots of space. It is so nice and definitely good to come back to at the end of long days. Great question about how I chose my program. So working in the Office of Global Education, knowing the programs is a part of my job, so I had a lot of exposure to it. I originally thought I wanted to study abroad in Copenhagen, and that's a great program as well, but what really drew me into the Amsterdam program is the independent study project and the opportunity for research. Again, because I'm writing a thesis for my culture and politics major, I wanted that research experience and to start thinking about methodology and different topics that I'm interested in delving more into on my own instead of just in a classroom setting. To add on to that, as I mentioned earlier today, my program does a 2-week excursion to Morocco. With my migration, gender, and sexuality course, we're studying migration in the Dutch context, but also a lot of migrants pass through North Africa. So we're going to incorporate the Middle Eastern context into these migratory studies through that travel, which I thought was an amazing opportunity. And I also love the guest lectures and the site visits as a way of learning more about what that themed issue looks like on the ground. I always think of study abroad goals as being two-pronged, academic and personal. I had the opportunity to study abroad in Quito, Ecuador for 6 weeks, the summer after my freshman year at Georgetown, doing language immersion and passing my language proficiency exam. And that gave me insight into what the different goals of study abroad can be. For my time here in the Netherlands, academically, again, my goals are research-oriented and honing in on that comparative analysis of Dutch and Moroccan context. And my personal goals, I think, are not that different from what they were when I studied abroad in Ecuador, except for that language component. But to become more comfortable doing things on my own, I think when you study abroad, you build a lot of self-trust. You don't have as strong of support networks when you're abroad. You're further from home. There are things that you take for granted when you're home that become very clear to you when you're abroad. So I really consider study abroad personally to be a gratitude exercise of recognizing the things in this new culture that I really like and am grateful for. I think in Amsterdam, those things are going to be like the biking, the public transit, the walkability. All of those things are absolutely excellent. And I think just a slower pace of life as well. But also the things that I miss about home and about Georgetown's campus, and cultivating a newfound sense of appreciation for them that I often take for granted. I think that's the real benefit of study abroad, of transplanting yourself in a new location and trying to reorient yourself and your identity to it. This is a great question. So for my major, I could really go abroad in the fall or the spring. A lot of my other friends were going abroad in the spring, and it made housing easier to go abroad in the spring. but it fit great with my academic course plan because there were some classes I wanted to take, such as culture and reproductive medicine, science, and technology that are offered in the fall and not the spring. So I got to take those on campus and then come abroad in this spring. I also think a good benefit of it is just being in Amsterdam is that the weather is gonna get nicer, and then I'll have the tulips and the beautiful spring here, which I'm excited about. So that's not the reason that I chose to study abroad in the spring, but definitely a perk. I know that the fall deadline is today, but definitely consider applying and studying abroad in the spring. Alright, so I just finished an assignment for an asynchronous course I'm taking for my CULP thesis, and I've been working on some readings for my program here in the Netherlands. I also did laundry, made dinner, cleaned up. So that's a wrap on my night. I'm going to start winding down, and this is my official sign off, but thank you to everyone who followed along here on my day in Amsterdam. If you have any questions about this SIT program, you can always reach out to me, but if you're interested in study abroad in general, I really encourage you to attend a Study Abroad 101 or to meet with a peer advisor in the Office of Global Education to talk through your study abroad goals and figure out what program is right for you. I think global education is a great way to not only enrich your studies, but to grow as a person, and I really encourage everyone to take advantage. Bye and have a good night.